Your name has both Gaurav as well as Raja.
Yes, yes.
Where are you now?
I am at a very lovely place. It's called CP.
So हम बात कर रहे थे क्लाइमेट एंड डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट का, कि
हाँ
कैसे हम डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट में क्लाइमेट में काम कर सकते हैं, क्या काम कर सकते हैं। बेसिकली वो डिपेंड करता है अलाइनमेंट विद ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस। सिमिलरली हम इस डोमेन में क्या कर सकते हैं इन टर्म्स ऑफ, एक तो फाइनेंसिंग ही हो गया कि जो भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है जो काम कर रही हैं, तो उन्हें हम मतलब डिफरेंट तरीके से कैपिटल प्रोवाइड कर सकते हैं। मतलब ये हमारा एक अजम्पशन है, राइट? बट वी वांट टू अंडरस्टैंड कि चैलेंजेस क्या हैं, गैप्स कहाँ पे हैं, अगर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन हैं तो क्या कर रही हैं वो, और उन्हें क्या इश्यूज आ रहे हैं इस पर्टिकुलर सेक्टर।
Organizations, when you say, you mean मतलब people working on.
You mean similar like your own organization, the working towards the cause in terms of you're bringing solutions.
Okay.
To mitigate and to foresee all these risks.
Okay.
So इस तरीके से मतलब किसी भी लेवल पे काम कर रही हूँ, बट बेसिकली काम इसमें कर रही हूँ क्लाइमेट चेंज की वजह से जो डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट हो रहा है। ऑब्वियसली वो सारा इंटर रिलेटेड है, ह्यूमन बिहेवियर, ह्यूमन एक्टिविटीज इज वन थिंग, देयर आर फ्यू डिजास्टर प्रोन एरिया जहाँ पे अपना ठीक है नेचुरल रीजन्स हैं। सो बेसिकली इन सारी चीज़ों के लिए अगर जैसे आप काम कर रहे हैं, देयर आर अदर ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस लाइक कोई सॉलिड वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट में काम कर रहा है, कोई सैनिटेशन में काम कर रहा है, कोई रिस्टोरेशन के लिए काम कर रहा है, समथिंग लाइक दैट। बेसिकली ब्रीफली इफ यू कैन टेल मी कि क्या काम हो रहा है इस पर्टिकुलर सेक्टर में और क्या चैलेंजेस आ रहे हैं बेसिकली। बिकॉज अगर हमें चैलेंजेस पता चलेंगे जो लोग काम कर रहे हैं, तो हमें ये पता चलेगा कि जैसे एक चैलेंज हो सकता है कि जो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन काम कर रही हैं, क्योंकि ये हाई प्रायोरिटी सेक्टर नहीं है, लोगों को अभी भी लगता है कि प्रोबेबली 20 साल बाद, 50 साल बाद, 100 साल बाद कोई प्रॉब्लम है, राइट? या फिर डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट की बात करें तो वो लोग पता नहीं कर सकते, वो कभी भी हो सकता है। तो हाई प्रायोरिटी सेक्टर नहीं है इन टर्म्स ऑफ गिविंग कैपिटल, तो इन्वेस्टमेंट कम है, लाइक इट वोंट बी वेरी attractive for a private funder to fund such solutions। ठीक है यार, मतलब अभी लोग खरीदना तो शुरू करेंगे नहीं अगर समथिंग रिलेटेड कोई प्रोडक्ट बना दो, समथिंग लाइक दैट। लेकिन सपोज अर्थक्वेक के लिए ही हम कुछ प्रोडक्ट बनाते हैं कि अपने घरों में लगाओ, प्रोबेबली कुछ मटेरियल ये वो, और उसी वजह से आपका कॉस्ट बढ़ जाता है। तो लोग कहते हैं नहीं है, हम मतलब ठीक है हम इतना रिस्क ले सकते हैं, वी वांट टू दैट बिकॉज हमें अपना कॉस्ट नहीं बढ़ाना, समथिंग लाइक दैट। तो अगर ऐसे सॉल्यूशंस हैं वो मार्केट बेस्ड हैं या नहीं, तो यू अंडरस्टैंडिंग व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू से।
देखो, what you are trying to say, correct me if my understanding is right. First, you want to ask what all, due to all this climate change and disaster, what all challenges are small and medium enterprises facing in their products, business in general, and work. Am I correct? Right. So in that context, अभी ऐसा है that देखिए इसमें दो तीन issues है. Number one is we have to understand at present this sector is working on what priorities. So at present one of the priority that it is working on is government guidelines or statutory compulsions. For example, government has put ये so and so is mandatory. So या NOC लेना है, या for example some some subsidy has to be taken, or some municipal corporation guidelines are there, or pollution board guidelines are there, so that needed to be complied. So that is one part of the story. So that compliance is one motivation that people do or take. The second factor is basically basic hygiene or basic requirements which have now become like over a period of time different programs have come, like recently Swachh Bharat Abhiyan and all that are there. So basic minimum people know that कूड़ा नहीं करना चाहिए, it needs to be neat and clean, water should be not wasted, electricity, earthquake should not be there, food should, but that is just basic. So my doubt So this is the second point. So basic necessities. So climate change effects has started to come as basic necessity. What people feel they should mitigate. Then third is actually what people see the in their business and in their organizations what actual problems they are facing, because of which they are facing uh, more investment, more costs, more risks. Like let me give you an example. Joshimat we were discussing on the call, right?
Right,
So
right.
right. So well, Joshimat, all the small hotels and businesses today they are shut. More than shut. In fact, their entire buildings and cities is gone. So thing is, these kind of risks are there. Even if we talk about some places in other parts of India, say for example Himachal, if you take, there is water shortage that's coming up. So hotels face a excessive cost on buying water. So hotel industry is suffering. So on and so forth. Uh, so these are actual problems which business has started facing, right?
Mhm.
So this is the third perspective. The fourth perspective is the welcoming of solutions from the new, medium, and small enterprises to solve the country's problem. That is a mental mindset, social and mental mindset. So let me elaborate based upon these four criteria. So
Mhm.
coming first on the first one, compliance. So,
Right.
I would first and foremost say that our Indian compliance is still way far behind as compared to the European and the American guidelines. Take, for example, the vehicle. Uh, so,
Mhm.
the minister is saying that let's go to BS6, Bharat Stage 6, 7, go to electric and all that. But industry is slow to shifting, which is fine, which is genuine. I am not questioning the rationale behind that. But that's one of the things. Similarly, it's in all the other aspects. Everywhere it's like make earthquake resistant buildings. So compliance is fine, but most of the people find a way out of compliance, and it's just to meet the minimum mandatory requirements. So one of the interventions that can be made in the compliances are that you can do that some kind of policy advocacy can be done. Some kind of thought leadership activities can be done to
Mhm.
guide and advise people, to governments, decision makers, businesses, social sector, NGOs, and even the beneficiaries on what is the true intent behind the particular compliance and why it needs to be compliant in letter and spirit, not only in letter. This is one thing. And more than advocacy, policy making, there is one more thing. Pilot projects can be undertaken, model projects in different aspects,
Mhm.
and that knowledge decimation can happen in a more structured and a more long term oriented way. So this is one
Mhm.
thing that can be done in tandem. So you can work with, someone can work with local municipal bodies and to mitigate flooding and all that, all those things can happen. So this is in compliance. The second point well I mentioned was
You mentioned about basic hygiene.
yes. Yes. So second thing is from basic necessity. Let me call it basic necessities. So society, after a period of so much awareness campaigns by everyone around, government, people, they have come to the conclusion that basic, like if you build a house, you will buy a aquaguard, right? Normally, everyone will buy a water purifier. Hello, for their kitchen, right? So it has become a basic necessity, but way back 20 years down it was not there, right? So
Right.
yeah,
Yes.
so take for even though an water purifier may not be needed, but still people buy it, you know so
Mhm.
sim- just take for that for an example. Similarly, if there is a building construction, everyone is like, no, let's make a earthquake resistant building. Flooding, people, places where are flooding prone, those are there. But so people have understood the importance of basic incorporating basic environmental parameters in their basic day-to-day decisions. But at this point, there are two important factors that needed to be considered: is what is the motivation on why people are doing. Because
Yeah.
if you are taking an aquaguard, mostly you are not taking an aquaguard because you are an expert in water and you want alkaline water, this water, that water. You're just taking, it's an accessory of the kitchen and you need to take it, right? So similarly, businesses and organizations and beneficiaries, public in general, are not doing because they genuinely want to save environment or they feel there is a relation between environment and human life. Most are doing for the sake of it. That may be that may be fashion, that may be a mindset issue, that may be of different aspirations. So one thing that you can actually here also, interventions can be done on explaining people that so interventions can be in terms of awareness campaigns, on information campaigns, in sensitization campaigns, all those things, documentaries, movies, and even sustainable outlets. So that let's have this structuring this more. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, totally, totally.
Yeah. So that needs to be done up more. Like I will give you one example. Cropping. So a lot. I have written a very good article on LinkedIn. You definitely have a look at it. It's a very holistic article on the cropping pattern in Punjab, the air pollution in Delhi and Gurgaon and NCR, and how it is linked with 150 years of government policies.
Yeah, I was saying, okay, I'll check it out. मैं LinkedIn आपसे ले लूँगा बहुत.
I will share you the link. You can go through it later on. Matlab, I will just put the context right now. So idea is sometimes these policies are getting squeezed because of government subsidizing the wrong things. Say for example, water is subsidized in Punjab. Paddy and things like that is subsidized, wherein Punjab is technically a water stressed place mostly. So but then farmers are there, they have their own concerns. So to address that, we have to go to the root cause. Again, it boils down to livelihood issues. So if we talk about livelihood issues, you need to show there are possibilities that we can show what are the alternative livelihood options which can be more sustainable and at the same time give same or more income generating opportunities. So these are the interventions that you can perhaps make, and that can be customized maybe for cropping pattern, and because that's also related with climate change and disaster, right? If groundwater is getting if you know, go to this Ganganagar and all those places, there is a train that's run, it's called cancer train in local language, because most of the people are cancer patients there. Hello.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Cancer train.
Cancer.
No, so basically, they named the train after cancer because lot of
No.
patient.
The train has not been named after cancer, but it is a local parallels used. Okay.
Okay.
Because that's a cancer. You know, lots of diseases are there, lifestyle and cancer diseases, and because environment has got polluted, and now it's climate change also and an epidemic, right? It's epidemic is also disaster. New diseases are coming, and all those things are happening. So that's also a type of disaster that we are talking. You talked about health. So new epidemics generating due to climate change is also a disaster, right? Disaster need not be earthquakes, buildings falling. It can be a biological disaster also. Right. So that is one issue. The second issue is this is due to water pollution and stuff like that. Then soil is a very big issue. Because of soil, what happens? Soil getting polluted. The natural microorganisms are not there, the production capacity of the soil is degrading, and so all these are biological issues. Then if you talk about different areas like parts of Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, South, things like flooding happens. So flooding does have its own benefit also. Sometimes it rejuvenates the soil and lots of things are there, but at the same time it destroys the livelihoods and ecosystem also. So there suitable interventions can be done. So the point that I am trying to make here is that that you need to take the basic necessities of the people. Livelihood is one of the basic necessities, and related to more sustainable option, then people need to see hope on what is the way forward, and that is something you can work on. Maybe you can create a model of something, give knowledge. So this year is the year of millet. Okay, 2023. So something can be done on why millet could be a sustainable cropping. You could have option markets for millets, sustainable option. All these things are possible. So this is the topic I've second touched out it. Third thing I mentioned, some businesses have genuinely facing environmental problems which are causing their business to have losses. So those, and if a business is having losses, that means the population that it is serving is in turn having losses. For example, if you talk about all hill areas from Himachal, Uttarakhand, other places, then water is a very big crisis. Let's not go very far. Nearby Delhi, there is a place called Bahadurgarh. Beyond Bahadurgarh areas, there's practically no groundwater. And I know industrial areas there. There's one industrial area, Rohad. Have you heard about it? You can Google Rohad. It's a very big industrial area in just outside in NCR only, and there are very big industries there, and there is no water. In fact, there are private water tankers who are running a business out of there. There are no sewer line. Imagine, and the sewerage is being taken by some private people and just being dumped on sugarcane farms or here and there. So what I'm just trying to say, so these businesses do have genuine concerns and they know environment issues are creating problem in their normal workings, and it is more focused on the local villages and the system also. So those things where that sector of the people who actually are facing problems, so I think you can also do necessary interventions there. And last point is the most important thing is that what are the proactive, fourth point was, what are the proactive steps that you can do. So one of the proactive steps that you can possibly do is set up pilot projects, set up risk financing systems, like that. So if we can, like, this was the overview, like you asked me to share with you.
Nice. I mean, it was quite comprehensive. So basically ये समझ में आ गया मुझे कि what are the challenges अभी and context क्या है. You have also given very good examples हर चीज़ का. So एक चीज़ मेरा ये था कि जो ये organizations हैं जो काम कर रही हैं, जैसे कि मतलब आपके हिमालयन रीजन में तो काफ़ी ज़्यादा फॉर प्रॉफिट एंड नॉट फॉर प्रॉफिट ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस रिस्टोरेशन के लिए काम कर रहा है, सॉलिड वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट के लिए काम कर रहा है, ये सॉइल पॉल्यूशन के लिए काम कर रहा है, राइट. सो ये देखा है ना कि ये बहुत सारी जो ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस है ना, ये छोटे छोटे स्केल पे मतलब एक दो रीजन में तो काम करती है, बट एज सच कोई बड़ा प्लेयर नजर नहीं आया अदर देन ऑब्वियसली व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट ईवीज एंड ऑल ऑफ इट. वो अलग बात है, बट इन चीजों में ना कोई बड़ा प्लेयर नजर नहीं आता. मतलब
किसमें
स्टार्ट होता है,
व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय ईवी?
इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल.
अच्छा.
सो इनमें ना मतलब ऐसा उतना ट्रैक्शन नहीं है, मुझे ऐसा लगता है. मतलब दिस कैन बी माय बायस आल्सो बिकॉज़ आई एम नॉट रियली डेल्व्ड मच इनटू द इशू, बट वो जैसे एजुकेशन हेल्थ से रिलेटेड आप देखोगे कि इंटरनेशनल एनजीओज हैं या फिर एक कॉन्वर्सेशन रहता है कहीं जाते हो, बट इस चीज़ का क्लाइमेट का कॉन्वर्सेशन होता है, बट वो काफ़ी बेग होता है, काफ़ी सीक्रेट लेवल पे होता है और काम बहुत कम लोग कर रहे हैं, और जो भी कर रहे हैं उनका विजिबिलिटी बहुत कम है. क्या मतलब ऐसा सही है या फिर मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है? ये मेरा assumption है.
No, you have identified a very let me say you have taken a you have caught on a very thin leg of a very big animal. So you have just touched the eyes of an iceberg. So what I mean to say, you have actually in the right direction and you identified the right thing. I will explain you exactly what is happening, and you will resonate. What you have understood is totally right based upon that. Right? Would you mind coming on a video call? I will show you something around.
Okay.
I'll just show you something around. It will be very interesting, and that will help in coming up. So, if you can have a look, this is CP. So you have been here, right? Abhi, right? Hello. Abhi, I will show you the development model that has happened here. So CP is that why I like this place is, this is a traditional model which has been made over 100-150 years where everything was connected. But now we have introduced our own development model. Okay. And our own development model is this. You can see these plants, right? Some granite tiles are installed and beach mein plants are installed, hedges, right? So each hedges will be some price, say 100 rupees, 10 rupees, whatever. Okay. Some benches are installed, some trees are installed, some pathways are installed. But if you see the entire marketplace, it's so open. There's that feeling of connectedness. The feeling of connectedness is coming from the way the entire urban design for this space has been done. It is uh, parks, it is roads, it is gardens, it's buildings, but they are connected in such a way that each entity has not been planned in individual, but it is connected to another in a very natural and open way. There is seamless merging of between two entities. But now what we have done, we have integrated plants here, we have integrated different elements here like pavers, roadblocks, street lights, different road furniture and other equipments thing, which is good, which is part of engineering, like utilities also are there. But why I try to point out this is with respect to your question is as per our society, the way we are progressing as a after industrial age and information age currently, we have actually productized everything. So here what has happened, if you can see, this plant has been planted around 3 to 4 feet above the ground, which is surrounded by granite, and mud is put into that location and the plant is planted. Likewise, all the plantation has been done. Similarly, the street lights have been installed and other equipments. So the plant has in the end become a single product. It's not a part of an ecosystem in general. And likewise, all the plants, all the street lights, every entity here is a product. But there is no interconnectedness. I will give you one example. If someone has to water the plant, it has to take natural minerals and nutrients from the soil. It cannot do it. It is doing naturally, but only when it is getting water. And water can only be given if someone is physically coming and giving water to it. It cannot take water from the ground because obviously it is 3 to 4 feet above the ground and surrounded by a cemented area. So we have actually created a semi-artificial structure. So and which can only sustain through manual intervention or through external intervention, which is not natural and which is not sustainable and which breaks the concept of connectedness. So if it would have been connected, there would have been mechanism which it can easily function over a period of time naturally. It can get its nutrients, water from the soil, and it doesn't have to be maintained too much. It sustains on itself, and over a period of time, through the connected nature, it survives a lot. So what the point that I'm trying to share with respect to your question is that we have tried to make productization of each and everything. We have made products out of plants, about landscape, about road infrastructure, about engineering products, and every other thing. So the reason that you are saying that we have not been able to see a lot of innovations coming out from startup at the national scale is one of the reason is productization, and lots of MSMEs and small startups that are working across the country are perhaps not in the position to expand their solutions right across the country, maybe due to lack of capital, or maybe they are too localized in approach and other factors. But then they cannot expand. So EVs have been successful because EVs are a particular technology which is at present, if you see in the EV context, it's a productized business. So someone is making the batteries and someone is making the vehicle, and then they are being assembled at a particular factory, and then they are being sold across the country. But if you see other products, lot of things maybe related with disaster management, water systems, energy, waste management, sustainable housing, etc. So all these, even food is very important category. So these are obviously a localized solution or a very regional focused solutions, which sometimes are very difficult to get too productized that they can be so mass produced that they can be sold across the country or across the world. So one of the reasons that this is also a good point or a bad point, it's difficult to say at this point of time, but in the end what we have to say, everything should not be productized in general, because each size cannot be fitting for all the people on earth. So the idea is productization is good, but startups and MSMEs, like you are aware, should be encouraged to have their innovations not only from the perspective of growth of the business, but also from the perspective of how much impact they are making to the social and environment sector, to disaster management, to making our human habitats and animal habitats more sustainable. It has to be seen from that context. The second thing is that at the local level, what is happening is whenever innovation is coming up, it is very hyper local, and because of that, it develops networks and connectedness through local network. That may be a network of word of mouth, that may be a network of local learnings and local engineering solutions that they have mastered upon, and the local suppliers and customer environment that they work in, business environment, and all that. So that in fact puts pressure on, not pressure, that in fact makes a new small micro ecosystem where the innovations are able to survive. But that is not necessary that it may have to expand to the entire world only or entire country only to make it a successful innovation. So for example, EV is currently a very technology that is being talked upon across the country and across the globe, but there are still serious questions on the EV and its pros and cons and all those things. It may or may not be a very good technology. Similarly, the innovations that are coming at hyper local level, they may or may not be reaching a national scale or international scale, and then only be categorized as something very good or scalable. I think what we should see from a perspective is that how much impact it is going to make, and how we can make the local ecosystem and local economy intertwined with local innovations and make it sustainable. So I think it's an assumption that we are making, that only the products that have been productized and which are mass produced in factories, and they are the best solutions, or they are the proven solutions. I think this is a wrong assumption that has been perhaps indoctrinated in our minds due to the side effects of industrialization and all the consumerist economy and all our fast paced life, that we are made to believe. However, the reality is that most of the cities, states, countries uh, have been surviving different climatic situation, different economy situation, different kind of local geographical situations due to local innovations. And I think necessary capacity building should be done, and to scale these innovations in a way which is different from the paradigm of, we understand that industrial revolution is one product manufactured in one place of the world and sold across the world. I think that paradigm also needs to change. Maybe we need hyper local solutions. So we have to look into that context, and only when we are able to see, we will be able to, in this context, then only we'll be able to have a genuine change in the way human development is happening. Human cities are being developed, human villages are being developed, and environment is being conserved, and we are able to mitigate or disasters and have necessary resilience towards them. So I am happy that you found our meeting very helpful, insightful. ठीक है, तभी मैंने I requested कि let us come on a video call. ठीक
Yeah,
है,
yeah.
but my context was this, because some things are better explained if we have it in the way it is.
Right, right.